A hover, a touch. The blade is not steel, but mandible, tracing a curve the eye can barely follow. A disc loosens from the leaf and lifts, carried beneath a compact body that vibrates with urgency. The worker vanishes into a hollow reed and re-emerges for another pass, each circle near twin to the last. Inside the tunnel, green walls rise in nested rings, a cradle sealed against rain and ants. This is solitary bee behavior, sharpened to an edge. Architecture from motion and mouth parts. In a world of rough edges, the insect that builds with perfect leaf circles sets its own standard of clean geometry. Across meadows, gardens, and hedgerows, a lone mother repeats a quiet industry. She chooses a cavity, pithy stems, beetle holes, drilled wood, or a soil burrow. She kneads pollen and nectar into a loaf, lays one egg, then walls the gift inside a chamber of leaf. Cell follows cell until the tunnel fills, and a final cap closes the lineage for the season. Predators test the seams. Parasites hunt the scent trail. What looks like decoration is defense and climate control. Only after watching the method does the name fit. A leaf-cutting insect, the leafcutter bee, folds plants into masonry. Leafcutter bee nesting depends on tight tolerances. Bee nest construction lives or dies on the fit of a disc. The anchor, leafcutter bee masonry, the insect that builds with perfect leaf circles, sits in the open, daring us to explain the curve. Here is the paradox, stated plain. How do leafcutter bees achieve such geometric precision without visual measuring tools? Flights carry discs dozens of meters. Cuts finish in seconds. Evidence suggests a worker grips the leaf margin, plants her hind legs, and rotates, jaws shearing a near-perfect arc. For liners, she takes elongated ovals that wrap a tube without gaps. For lids, she switches to truly round pieces that press fit like coins. Studies indicate a typical cell may hold 10 to 20 segments, with final caps stacked 2 or 3 deep. Diameters track the tunnel interior with uncanny accuracy. Gaps are rare. In leafcutter bee nesting, the tolerance matters. Too small, and the wall leaks heat and scent. Too large, and the piece buckles, wasting time and material. All of this happens under threat. Spiders in the foliage, birds above, wasps on patrol. So the curve must be fast as well as exact. Bee perfect leaf circles look machined. Yet no lines are drawn. No distances counted. The blueprint is carried in a brain the size of a grass seed, and the compass leaves no mark. 3 hypotheses frame the solution. First, the body as template model. The bee may measure by herself. Leg span, head width, and mandible sweep serve as living rulers. A central pattern generator, an innate motor program, could drive a fixed turning rate while tarsi maintain a pivot on the leaf edge. When the arc closes, tactile cues match a remembered end state. This would scale the circle to the bee, not the nest, unless the pivot distance adjusts. Evidence suggests workers modulate stance with the tube's width at the construction site, implying a template that flexes. The trade-off: large tubes mean wider arcs, which slow cutting and increase exposure. Second, the feedback loop model. The mandibles are not knives alone. They are sensors. Leaf stiffness and thickness change the force required to shear. By keeping that force within a narrow band and holding a constant angle between body and edge, the bee might lock in a constant curvature without seeing the circle. When the mechanical resistance vanishes, the cut is closed. Limits are clear. Different plants vary in rigidity and vein pattern. On tough leaves, the curve frays. On soft ones, the disc may tear. Even then, the worker often corrects with an extra pass, a patch laid like a shingle. Here, bee nest construction becomes a dialogue with materials. Third, the visual tactile integration model. Though cutting occurs at millimeter scale, compound eyes and simple ocelli can still provide coarse alignment. Holding the leaf margin at a constant retinal position while proprioceptors report limb angles could stabilize the arc. Orientation to sun or ground may help preserve the plane of the cut. Scientists still debate the weight of vision versus touch, and nobody knows why some individuals cut cleaner than others under the same leaves. What is clear is the outcome. Leafcutter precision persists across species and habitats, rewriting what we thought we knew about how small brains control geometry. Behavior stitches these layers into a day's work. A worker scouts plants and remembers the ones that fold cleanly. She lines rough tunnels with longer ovals first, then seats round lids that press outward, spring-loaded by leaf veins. After provisioning, she seals the entrance with extra discs and sometimes chews the surface to fuse the fibers. The method packages moisture, buffers temperature, and hides scent from parasitic flies that follow untraceable trails. In this rhythm, leafcutter bee nesting and bee nest construction are not craft but survival math, minimum cuts for maximum seal. Bee-perfect leaf circles emerge as a byproduct of urgency, and yet their regularity holds even when the wind snaps and shadows flicker. The meadow quiets. A breeze lifts the rose leaves. A shadow crosses and moves on. The worker returns to the same plant and spins another curve in less than a breath. Can perfection be born from instinct alone? The answer hides in a union of body plan, feedback, and selection pressure. Leafcutter bee masonry, the insect that builds with perfect leaf. Circles endures as long as suitable leaves and safe hollows coincide. Change the plants, harden the edges, or crowd the cavities, and the circles may buckle, the lineage sealed with gaps. For now, the leaf-cutting insect cuts, carries, and builds, and the origin of that flawless arc remains a small, bright silence in the grass, precise, fast, and gone the moment the maker vanishes from view.